Hi guys, I hope you're good since last video. My Kubernetes cluster is dead, not working anymore. It is outdated and old, but can we revive it and deploy application to it? In this video, I will go and investigate in how to get the cluster back to life and how to upgrade the Kubernetes cluster that you could, for example, use in your business to serve applications. I left a link in the bio for the students who want to learn AI by doing, beginner devs who want to just think about a service that they could offer, or business owners who want to do it by themselves. It is free. There is a guide PDF to download and the video. Link is in the pinned comment or video description. Get it now from our hub, Check Our Houses. Also, please like and subscribe. Thank you for the support. And let's get started. The state of the cluster. So let's start just seeing how the cluster is. Running a simple command, kubectl get nodes. You can see here we can't reach it. The API server is not on. Connection refused. So we are in the controller nodes, and there are two worker nodes in this cluster. I'm going to check now containerd, systemctl status. So containerd is running. So I'm not using Docker, I'm using containerd. And here we're going to check kubelet, and kubelet is down. Okay. So let's restart kubelet and see how it goes. Still the same issue. I check the status hasn't changed. So we have an issue with kubelet. So we need kubelet to be running, otherwise we won't be able to communicate with this cluster. The kubectl commands also won't be effective. I check the journal, just the 20 last line of the journal of kubelet, all the logs. Just let me check here for an option to just see everything in the terminal, because the line is cut on the right side. So you don't need to remember everything, you can go through the documentation. Here we have no pager, that's the one that we're gonna use. N20, no pager, and here we go. So, what do we have? This is what we've seen with the status. It doesn't tell us anything. Don't get any help from that. Command failed. Failed to run kubelet. Unable to load kubeconfig. Have to get the path of it. Part of existing Bootstrap client certificate is expired. So this is an interesting one. So certificates are expired. And after above we just get normal logs. So the issue is around the certificates. Podinfra container image not be pruned. So yes, we're going to be focusing on the certificates. So from July 2024, it's expired. So it's a very old cluster. So we need to find a way to get that running again by updating those certificates. Please like and subscribe. We've seen the state. Now let's check those certificates. We're going to check the expiry dates. There are many certificates to check. I'm going to check the principal ones that we need for the cluster to be running again. So we go in the folder etc Kubernetes, where we get all the config files, admin, controller manager, kubelet, scheduler. We have the manifests of etcd, API server, controller manager, and scheduler. And inside the PKI, we get all the certificates and the etcd certificates as well. And those are the certificates that we're gonna check. So we go into the PKI folder. Now we get all the certificates. We're gonna use OpenSSL to check those certificates expiry dates. So let's start with the authority certificate, which is the cr.cert. So OpenSSL X509. In the certificate that we're gonna check, CA cert, no out, so we're not gonna show the secrets, but we want to check just the dates. And here we see that this one is not expired. It goes to 2033, so this one is fine. We don't need to do anything for that. We're gonna do the same for the API server set, which is going to July 2024, so this one is expired. And we keep going like that, just checking the .crt files. etcd client, July 2024, also expired. So they might all have the same dates. Let's keep checking. Now we go for the kubelet client. Okay, July 2024. I'll be showing you a diagram later on in the video, just to see how they relate to each other, those certificates, just to make it clear. And here we're just gonna check the front proxy, CAcert. This one is 2033, so this one is not expired. So the front proxy and this one here, so they are authority certificates, one for all of them and the other one for etcd. This one also, proxy client cert, is expired. Okay, now let's check the etcd folder, where we have also some other certificates. So we're gonna check the CAcert in the etcd folder, 2023. So this one is fine. So apparently we don't get any issues with those authority certificates. Let me just put here etcd has a folder. I get an error message because I just put the name of it, but it's inside the folder etcd. Okay, now 2024. Let's check the peer on the server one. The two last ones to check in this etcd Kubernetes PKI folder. That's where you're gonna find all those sets. Same. So July 2024, July 2024. Okay. So that's when the cluster has been created. We get just the authority certificates, CAcerts, which are lasting until 2023. So those ones we don't need to touch. To those ones, we're going to be focusing on those components: scheduler, API server, etcd, controller plane. There is also another folder for the kubelet, where we need to check also certificates. Here I need the sudo because you don't have permission here in this folder. And here we have also a PKI folder where we get all the certificates. Okay, so we can see here very old certs. I'm just going to check their expiry date. So same command, OpenSSL x509 in var lib kubelet pki, and here we're just going to check this one here, the kubelet cert. No out, we just don't want to show what is in and the dates. That's the only thing that we want to check, and it's July also 2024. So here also we need this to be regenerated. This folder is handled by kubelet, so we're going to be working on that. Please like and subscribe, and let's go for the next. We're going to first create some backups. I'll just show you how to create some backups, just the basic ones. So I'm going to do it on the control plane when we're going to be working on the worker nodes. I'm not going to make any backups. Just consider that you need to make backups. So here I'm just going to make a directory. I'm just going to call it pki back, and I'm just going to copy all the kubelets handled certificates to the varlib kubelet pki back. So here it's a bit weird, doesn't work as expected, so it will be a bit tedious to do. I will have to do it one by one. So let's just check the names so that I can copy and paste all those names. Let me see, maybe it's in. Yes, so we got it. It's okay. So this was fine. Now let's do the same for the etcd. I might need to create the folder first. etcd Kubernetes. Just let's create the backup folder. And here I'm just going to call it the same, pki back. Permission denied. Let's use a sudo, and after we're going to go and copy everything that we have in. Just going to use sudo straight away to not get those permission denied errors. etc Kubernetes pki. We should get it in. Let's double check. Underscore. Yes, so we got them. We got all the certificates backed up. Now we will be able to work and see how to fix this cluster. I'm going to do the same for the manifests. And we are going to do the same here. Copy all the manifests. So manifests are the YAML files representing those different components of the controller. Different controllers actually. Kubelet, controller manager, scheduler, etcd, So the API server is in the middle. They all communicate with the API server, and that's why we have so many certificates to have this HTTPS communication, secured communication between those components. So there will be an authority certificate and the client's certificate, which has been signed by this authority. So that's why you see API server having so many links to different certificates. Okay, copy is done. Just let me change the name with a S. etcd Kubernetes manifests back. Okay. We are done with the backups. Please like and subscribe. Renew certificates. So now we need to renew those. You can do it manually. It is going to take a while. We used kubeadm to create this cluster. So kubeadm certs. We use the help command just to see the documentation. And we can see the different flags that we can use. Generate CSRs. So you can also generate CSRs. Renew those certificates. That's what we might use. And you have some other flags here that you can go through and check on your own. But here we're just going to use renew for us. That's what we need, renew certificates for Kubernetes cluster. kubeadm certs renew. And after here, same, we're going to check what is in the documentation, because if you want, you can renew the certificates only for one component. Admin conf is your kubeconfig. That's the one to authenticate. API server. You see, you can target what you want to renew. The controller, etcd, the front proxy, or the scheduler. So here we go for all. Permission denied. I need to use a sudo. So let's go for the same command. And now we're going to get those certificates renewed. You see, and they're embedded into those config files in a base64 encoded way. Okay. So API server, controller manager, and scheduler, etcd. So here we get a message telling us that we must restart those. We can't even access to the cluster, so we don't need to. When we're gonna start the cluster, it's gonna pick it up automatically. etcd. So those are the manifests that we've seen before. Controller manager. Okay. And the kube API server, those two. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna double check are those certificates updated. So they're all in etcd Kubernetes, PKI. After here, let's check the API server. So no out. And we see here it goes till March 2026. So we can assume that they've been updated. So this one doesn't exist. It's etcd client or kubelet client. Just go through it again. 2026. Okay. Got another one was the proxy client. I should have LL just to check what we have in. Don't remember all the names. So we're gonna go in the PKI, those are the names. So now we can quickly check all of those front proxy, not proxy, front proxy clients. Okay, 2026. So as you see, our Kube, this one 2023, we've checked it before. So kubeadm sets renew command, and after you target one component, or you just refresh all those certificates with the flag all that we have used. In the etcd folder, let's see if it has also updated those certificates for etcd. Yes, because they are a little bit more for etcd. For example, if you have several etcds, they need to communicate between each other to have the same data. They're using those certificates. So now we can check those config files. You see, they are embedded certificates in, encoded in base 64. So those are the same as the certificates that we have checked, but they're encoded. You have the authority certificate on the top and the clients on the bottom. Okay, here the authority data, client certificate and the client key. So admin conf, controller manager, kubelet and the scheduler all will be the same. You'll get this kind of architecture on configuration. So kubelet conf, same here, but kubelet is a bit special. It's going to be referencing this path that I showed you before, varlib kubelet PKI, where the certificates are in one PEM file. A PEM file means that inside this file there is the certificate and the key. So both are inside. That's how it can, that's why you have the same path for the key and the certs. So same for the scheduler. Now let's go check again the documentation of kubeadm in a more broader way. So we use certs. There's completion, configs, help, init, join. To join a node to the cluster, we might need to use it. Init when you start the cluster at the beginning, but you can go kubeconfig. Because we have updated the certificates, but all the config files that I showed you before, with those base 64 encoded certificates, they're the old ones, they're not the new ones. So we need to update those config files. So you can also create tokens from here or reset. So we are gonna go init h and just check how to do that. And you see here you get the components. So we're gonna reinitialize with that, and here you get the different components. API server, kubelet client, and so on. Those are for the sets, but we want to target the kubeconfig files. The config files that I just showed you before, and I show you how they have those encoded certificates in, but those are the old ones and we need to update to the new ones. and you get some more here in the documentation. So kubeproxy, add-ons, etcd, upload configs. So init, and after we put the comment, there's some more flags here. Okay, so just exploring that a little bit more, but we already know what we're going to use because we're going to be focusing on the kubeconfig files. Okay, so down here kubeadm init, and we're going to grep and phase. No. Let me check. Kubernetes init phase. Kubeconfig. All. Kubernetes init phase. Yes, here we get kubeconfig. I don't know if I need the sudo to make it work, because now I'm just checking, but let's check phase here. Use this command to invoke single phase of the init workflow. Okay, skip phases, list of phases to be skipped. So here we go back to this init. We got those that we have showed you before, sets, kubeconfig. Okay, but those are just one by one. We can't get all of them together. And that's why we're gonna pass through the init and have to use the phase option, which is this one here. So init flag, we're gonna use the phase. Okay, to invoke single phase of the init workflow. So we want the kubeconfig phase, which is englobing all of those here. Okay, that's why we use that. So now let's go and check how far we can go with this command. Okay, and now here we have access to the phase that we want to target, which is this one. Generate all config files necessary to establish the control plane and admin kubeconfig file. That's what we want. We want the control plane. We want to update all those config files with the new updated certificates, which are going to be automatically embedded. And here we're just going to go for all, generate all config files. So they're going to be embedded and encoded in base64, all done with one command for us. So those are the config files, which are in etcd Kubernetes, control manager, okay, kubelet, and the scheduler. Okay, so that you can relate to this folder. So just seeing the file system, you can have a guess of what command you might need to use. Okay. Let's make another backup. because I've done backups of the keys and the manifests, but now I'm working on those config files, so I'm going to make a backup of those config files. Let's see if it worked fine or not. Yes, we got them all. Very good. So we're gonna go for the flag all, the last one. Where's my command here? Let me just go all. Permission denied. So yes, I will need the sudo to run it. Here is the permission denied. So let's go sudo. That was quick. You can see the different paths: etcd, kubelet, control manager, scheduler. Okay, the admin conf also has been done. Here, this one, kubelet. The admin is a bit above in the middle. Okay. That's good. I could have deleted those files. That's why here I get a warning telling me that already exists. That's the latest version, 1.32, but here our cluster is at 1.27. We're gonna go slowly past to 128 during this video. Worker node set checks. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done it yet. So now we are in the node 1, worker node 1. You can see on the top in the middle, Creditizens at node 1. That's how you know where we are. I'm just gonna check kubelet status, same here. So here also kubelet is dead. So I just checked it directly because I assumed that this is the issue. There might be some other issues. So here we have just in the PKI the CR cert. There's no manifest. So we have just the authority certificate in the worker node. And we have just kubelet conf in etcd Kubernetes. In the varlib kubelet PKI. So here also it's good that you do backups, but I'm not going to do backups on the worker nodes. But it's good that you do it, just for the video to not last more than 1 hour 30. Config.yaml. And here you have to make sure that this option here, where is it? Rotate certificates is set to true. Okay, so this when I created the cluster, I've done it from the beginning, but you need to check that. So it's very important. So varlib kubelet, and you check the config.yaml. You can check the certificate expiry, but we already guess what date is gonna be. Probably July 2024. Kubelet.cert. Yes. Let me check the date. Yes, good guess. Please like and subscribe. And let's go to the next. Focus on kubelet config certs fiction issues. Okay. So you've seen the state of one worker node. So there's two worker nodes. They have the same issues. We come back here into the controller node. We have refreshed all those config files. certificates also are new. So let's slowly fix this cluster. etc Kubernetes PKI etcd. etcd peers and server, health check clients. So that's what we have in this folder here, if you want to target those. So when we did all, we get everything updated, but if you want to target any of those, you can do that by just doing a renew, and after you use the flag, okay, I'm going to do the other one like that, just to show you that you can do it also by just targeting certain certificates. Okay, here there's no risk for me to do it this way, because this is in the etcd folder, and those are certificates which are not embedded in the config file. And the cluster is dead, so it's just going to pick up whatever it's new when I'm going to turn it on. So those are all the etcd certificates that we're checking here. So I forgot one one keyword, which is in. Checking in this one, 2026. Okay, so we're good for that. We've been checking those etcd secrets, certificates, and we checked how we can update those individually. And now let's check the kubeconfig. Because to authenticate, to use kubectl commands, this is the file which is in the home directory, in the .kube folder. Here I called it config. So this has certificates embedded, but they're the old ones. So if I want the new one, I need to copy the admin conf from etcd Kubernetes and to replace it with that one. Because the one that we're using I'm just going to delete it. Because this one here, the .kube config from the home directory, which has the permission on the user of the computer, which is Creditizens here, is the one that we use to authenticate to the API server and be able to interact with the Kubernetes cluster with our permissions and everything. And the admin conf here has the root as owner. Okay, so I'm gonna move it, copy it into the home directory. The permission is going to be on the user, and at this time the user will be able to interact with the cluster as an admin. So you will have full permissions. So you will be able to set permissions for the users also. Okay, now I'm just going to check what's the difference between both. Shouldn't be any difference. Yes, no difference. So we got the .kubeconfig, which is the same file as the etcd Kubernetes admin conf. Now we are all set to be ready. You see the permissions is on the user, so we will be able to connect to the cluster probably. But before that, we need to check again kubelet status and try to restart it. Still dead. And let's see if those no, didn't work. Why? Let's check. Restart kubelet. Systemctl status. Same for the command, kubectl get nodes. We can maybe investigate again, as we did at the beginning, checking what's the journal is going to tell us. Let's just check in the 20 last lines. So I can't see the end of the line. Let me just add the flag no pagers. Command failed. Unable to bootstrap. Okay. I think I can guess what it is. Can you guess? So here it says etcd PK is expired. So we have the config file, which has embedded certificates, which is flagged as expired. Valib kubelet PKI, and it is in this side. So what we might need to do here, because this is created by a kubelet, you might need to delete. But here, for example, you see there is a symlink on the kubelet client current.pem. You need to delete this one first, okay? Because this is the one which is symlinked. And after you delete its counterpart. So let's delete the counterpart. Okay, there's a typo somewhere because it didn't delete anything. Ah yes, I kept the current. So let's get rid of this and put the name. Good. So I'm just going to delete everything because this folder is managed by the kubelet conf, which is going to be using the updated certificates to here create all those certs. You see, as it comes back automatically, even if I have deleted it. Let's check now again. What I'm going to do, I'm going to also delete the kubelet config file. Which is the one in etcd Kubernetes. Let's put the S here. It's not there anymore. I'm gonna run the command again, but just targeting kubelet. Okay, I got an issue with that. I got rid of all the certificates that kubelet handles. I got rid of the config file. I need the sudo command, and I'm gonna do the command that we did before. We used the flag all, but here I'm just using the flag kubelet. and let's see if it is present. Yes, and now it's present with the right, I hope, the right embedded certificates. Let me just check the other folder. You see, in the other folder, the PEM file has been recreated. Now we should be good. We have addressed the other issue that we've seen. Now let's see if we can restart. Let's check the status. Yes, amazing. We are back. So from that, we're gonna try to get the cluster nodes. Yes, that's amazing. So here it says ready for the node 1 and 2, but in few seconds it's gonna fail because only those nodes, this is the worker node 1 for example, I mean, they are, yeah, I'm just gonna check, but Kubernetes is not running here. So it's gonna take few seconds for the controller node to reconnect and see that it's not on. Okay, even if I restart, here we got also some certificates which are outdated. Every single node for Kubernetes has a different certificate. So you can't copy certificates from one node to another because they're generated automatically by Kubernetes. Okay, not ready. Now it's good. Okay. Amazing. Please like and subscribe, and let's jump to the worker node, certification, config, purge. So you know what I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna use the last technique that we used. We're gonna check what is in, we're gonna delete what is in, and we're gonna try to make this node join again the cluster. So if you're following along, now you probably know this folder. Folder has the kubelet automatically generated sets based on the config file and based on the certificates that we have updated. So the star here to delete everything doesn't work. So I will need to do it one by one. You do the sim linked file, and after you do the original file, okay, and after we get rid of kubelet cert and the key, all right. Okay, this is empty, that's what we want. And we're gonna get rid also of etcd kubernetes kubelet conf. Bye bye. Let's just check. What did I do? Okay, just like that. It's not in anymore. We're good. So here you delete everything. I'm going to repeat the same process in the node 2. Just to make sure, let's show again that we have the same. Let's delete. Everything from here also. Please like and subscribe. So now worker node 1 and worker node 2 are cleaned. Let's rejoin. Getting the cluster back up. We're going to try to join those. So we're in the controller node. We're going to try to get the token. So it's a command that is going to be helping us to join those nodes again to the cluster. So kubadm token create. Let's keep going with the help command just to check. Create, and after there is a flag here to be able to join straight away and to get everything. Because there's another way to do that also. But here we're just going to go easy with this flag, print join command. Now I got the command here with the hash and the token. So we can just copy and paste it here. But for sure, in my setup here, I got a little issue with the copy and paste from one node to another. So I'm going to show you how you can do that in a professional way. First, install SSH. Okay, so you're going to be installing SSH in the controller node and all the worker nodes. So let's do that quick. So the trick here is that I'm going to send the command to the node using SSH. So here SSH keygen, and you just accept all the default by pressing enter, enter, enter. SSH dash keygen. So we got a private and public key in all the nodes. Okay, and after I'm gonna make sure that the controller node can communicate using the SSH communication port 22. So SSH dash copy dash ID. You use the flag I think, and after you put the SSH file location. So let me show here the documentation. SSH copy ID. Here we have dry run, force, use SFTP, and this one I. We have the identity file. So identity file, where is the file? I'm going to show you it's in the comments that you have done when doing your SSH keygen, the command just before. So this is the path. So you just get the path here, home, Creditizens, SSH, and you get the public key because you want to send the public key. And here we're going to authenticate Creditizens at node 1, creditizens.net. Here you say yes, and put the password of the node. Okay, so now it's connected. I'm going to do the same for node 2. Yes. And the public key will be present in the other side as a known host. Known host means that you can communicate, you can do SSH. I'm going to take the command here that you have created. I'm going to put it in a file. And I'm going to use the SSH connection to send the file to the other nodes. But we're gonna do one command here for the node 1. Okay, I'm gonna repeat the command again. kubedm token create --print -join -command. This is another command for the node 2. Okay, so one file that I'm gonna send in both one after the other. And after here we use SCP to send this file. So it's a copy SSH using the SSH connection, and here we can use where is it? It's F, I think. SCP. Let's try. Join comments. That's the file. Just put. I don't put any flag. I just put the file directly. I send it. Node 1 to the home directory. Home Creditizens. In the same name file. .txt. Okay, this one is gone. It's good. It worked. And here we're gonna do the same for the 2. Yes. And now let's get back to node 1, the worker node. We just check if the file is present. Yes, file is present and we get the command. I'm just gonna copy the command and join the node. For sure, it doesn't work because I didn't use the sudo. And now it's gonna be joining. Error execution prefill. Okay, ignore pre-flight error. There is something missing. Let me check. So let's delete this certificate. So you need also to delete the certificate. Okay, so now we don't get the error anymore, and it's going to be creating it automatically. So you need to purge, you need to delete everything, all the certs, config files from the worker nodes, all related to Kubernetes, to be able to recreate it. So here I'm going to delete it straight away. And after I'm going to just get the second command to join this one. Let's go. We are good. We can still check those folders so that we see what happened. PKI, it has created a new set. It has created a new kubelet conf. Everything that we had deleted has been recreated, and the var lib kubelet pki has recreated everything also. Okay, so everything is updated now. So we should be able to join to see the nodes ready. Now ready. It's not fake. Now it's real. We are back to life. So congratulations if you followed along and you could revive your cluster. So Calico is running everywhere, and this one also, it might take a few seconds to be getting the state back to up for all the nodes. So there is still one node trying to run Calico. Calico daemon set. Okay, failed, but bird is about this layer abstraction of networking, which is used inside Kubernetes. I think we just need to wait a few seconds. Let's run the command again. Yes, you see everything is running. Everything is running fine. What we can check later on is maybe try just to do a deployment and see if it is not just running the core components. Please like and subscribe. Congratulations. App deployment test. So I'm going to do it straight away now. Because we are back to life, but let's see if we can deploy anything in this cluster. Will we get any error? So I'm going to just use a command from the terminal. I'm going to use Nginx. Let's create the namespace. Okay, I'll call it Nginx proxy. We got the namespace. Let's deploy in that namespace an application. So kubectl create deployment. I'm going to call it front proxy in the namespace Nginx proxy. And we're going to use the image, just Nginx latest. Let's check. kubectl get pods. There should be one pod. Yes, it's creating. We can maybe even scale it to have some more. So let's do that. kubectl scale deployment. So this deployment, we called it front proxy. It's in the namespace Nginx proxy. And we're gonna do replicas 3. So we got all the nodes with one replica probably. Yes, one is running. Let's do the O-wide just to see. Yes, so the cluster is running, is back again, back to life, 100%, because we have the node 1, node 2 on the controller. So because the cluster is very small, I permit those pods to be deployed on the controller node as well. Okay. So those are the flags. The labels, I mean. So label, front proxy, in the namespace. Always need to tell what's the namespace. What was the namespace name? Nginx proxy. Running. Everything is running. We got the IP addresses internal. So this is running, but let's try to access to Nginx using our browser, internet browser. So we're going to expose the deployment. So kubectl expose deployment front proxy. We're going to use the type not port, which is going to be giving us a port automatically. The internal port is port 80. So I did something wrong somewhere. Maybe the namespace as usual. Yes. So let's add the namespace. Nginx proxy. Good. So now we got a service created. We can open Firefox. But before opening Firefox, I need to know what's the port that Kubernetes has chosen. So let me just go kubectl, get deployments, Nginx proxy, okay, wide, no, so I need to check the service, not the deployment. So Nginx proxy, this is the namespace, and now we got the port. So you see in ports it's written 80, and on the other side we got our node port. So you can't expose a service. You just get the port here and it's gonna be fine. So kubectl get service. On the namespace Nginx proxy. And now we get the port 31,307 on localhost. We got Nginx working, so we're good. So we are in the node 1, we got access to it. Like and subscribe, and let's tear everything down. So let's go and delete this deployment. We don't need it anymore. kubectl delete service. So you see, always forget the namespace. You need the namespace every time. Deleted. What you can do also to make it quick is just to delete the namespace so that everything is deleted. Okay, but we're gonna do it just like that, step by step. The service, the deployment, and the namespace. So you can just go namespace on your force and you delete everything. Okay, and we are back with those core pods and the nodes. So mission accomplished. Certificates, config files, just to show you how they mapped in the file system. So we got etcd Kubernetes, which is our main folder. Okay, so inside this folder we have some other folders. We have the config files that you've seen, those that we have updated, admin conf. Okay, each config file has an authority certificate, and client certificates and keys. That's what you got inside embedded as a base64, kubelet conf, scheduler conf. Okay, so those are the configuration files that you find in etcd Kubernetes. All the authority certificates present in that file, they refer to the one present in etcd Kubernetes PKI, the ci.cert. After, for each of those, the clients, okay, they will be present, controller manager, certain keys in PKA, but not for the scheduler. Scheduler, you know, it's different on each node. To authenticate to the API server, one PEM file holding the cert and the key. It's in varlib Kubernetes PKI, kubelet client PEM. Okay, so that's the one that we have deleted, for example. The scheduler here has scheduler cert and scheduler keys in PKA. Okay, those are the client certificates. We have another folder inside etcd Kubernetes, which is the manifest folder, where we got the API server YAML file. Here you get both of all those certificates, API server. So you get the cert and the keys, kubelet client, etcd client, okay, the front proxy client and the front proxy client key. So because it communicates with everything. Also in the API server, you get here PK etcd, because it's communicating with the etcd. You get the CSRT. Okay, so for etcd, it's mapped also that way. PKA, you just follow the arrows and you see we got the health check, certain key to secure HTTPS connection, server, certain keys, both communication, etcd cluster peers, the peer keys, okay, the kube controller, here the YAML file, the manifest folder has only the keys of the service accounts. Okay, while getting only the set of the proxy client, the front proxy client. The kube scheduler is going to be authenticating with the authority cert will be the front proxy CR cert, and the clients will be the front proxy client cert and keys. That's for the scheduler. The scheduler is going to be referencing respective config files to the scheduler conf, and for the controller, the controller manager conf. Okay, those are the YAML files. So that's why we get so many certificates. It's for the secure communication between those different components. Just maybe I'm gonna add here, as we've seen, that to authenticate to the cluster, I can maybe precise here that we have here the jet.kube conf file that we have in the home directory. Okay. And what is this file? Is to authenticate as an admin. Okay, I'm just going to copy everything here. And this file is the same as the admin conf file. So we just did a copy of it. The permissions are different. So I'm going to be also showing here the permissions for those different folders. Everything just is under the root permissions, but in the .kube. So the user here, home, user kube, the permissions here are going to be under the user. Okay, so it's going to be connecting to the cluster through the API server. The API server is going to check if it has the permission to it to connect, and what is allowed to do in the cluster. Okay, so let me just show those permissions. So the home user .kube conf file has the permission on the user, and here all of the rest, etcd Kubernetes, whatever you see inside, it's a root. That's why we needed sudo for everything. Same here, var lib Kubernetes PKI, it's all the territory of roots. That's why those certificates are very important. Okay, so you got an overview here of how the certificates relate to those different files. What are the logic behind it? Okay, so we have seen how those certificates relate to each other. We have seen also how to get this cluster back by renewing all those certificates, and also on the worker nodes that the certificates are not all available, and we need to delete all the files present in the folder, which is handled by kubelet, which is the var lib kubelet pki, and yeah, we got our cluster back to life. In the next videos regarding Kubernetes, I'll be upgrading the version of Kubernetes from 1.27 to 1.28, and we're going to go through the different steps, handle the struggles and everything. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Hope that you liked this video. As always, please like and subscribe, and see you next time.